coming up on the Middle Class VO podcast.
And then I get people who, send me their best Darth Vader impersonation. And I'm like, oh, gosh. I mean, it's amazing. And I'm not kidding. That's actually happened.
If you need e-learning, we're just an email away. Corporate narration, tell us what to say. Explainer video, imaging radio, slinging local cars, reading IVR. No, we ain't no stars. This is the Middle Class VO podcast. The Middle Class VO podcast. The Middle Class VO podcast.
We are so excited to have with us on the Middle Class VO podcast, Tanya Buchanan in Toronto. Tanya is there, Bobby is in Cincinnati, Kevin Kilpatrick here in Nashville. And today we're going to talk about agent representation, and we're going to talk about VO North. Tanya, first off, tell us, what is your job with VO North coming up this weekend?
Well, I'm one of the owners and co-organizers of VO North. It's in our third year this year. Very exciting weekend, full, jam-packed, full of different speakers and special guests and all sorts of things. So to say that we're busy behind the scenes right now is an understatement.
Yeah, exactly. I actually signed up. I'm joining you guys this weekend. I especially the casting lady, Terry Berlin, I got in her session, so I'm so excited about that.
Oh, you'll love it. I've just heard rave reviews about her session. Yeah, Terry's great. Well, they're all great. It's like having children, right? There's no favorites. I love them all.
Exactly.
And that's primarily my responsibility with VO North. And one of the reasons I got involved as well is I wanted to make sure that all the speakers and everyone involved is somebody that I would vouch for, somebody that I work with, somebody that I know is reputable. So my main role at VO North is getting all the great speakers involved and making sure we have a wide representation of different genres and different areas of the business. Because I also think it's really important to make sure that talent have a 360-degree idea of what the business is about. So we have accountants, we have lawyers, entertainment lawyers. In fact, a little known fact, we have Drake's lawyer that is joining us.
Really?
Yes. I don't know how much he publicizes that, but just for your listeners, that's Drake's lawyer.
Maybe we'll see him do a what do they call it, the photo crash in the background. Maybe
Maybe he'll be one of the coaches. No, it's like this. You used to call me on my cell phone.
I love Drake. That's awesome. You used to be a voice talent yourself, didn't you?
I did. And I think it's one of the great things about being an agent that I come to it from a talent perspective. I spent 20 years as a voice talent, and then I've been an agent for almost 12. Oh God, that's a long time. But I really understand what talent are going through when they're going through their ups and downs of booking and then not booking, and how they feel about going into an audition that's maybe a very stressful one. So I think I really give a unique perspective being an agent and having that background, which so far has, I think, worked really well. I guess ask some of my talent on my roster, but I think we're doing quite well.
Yeah, definitely. You made this really affordable too, and I love that. I know the fact that it's virtual has a big, input in that, but it's very affordable. That's why anybody who's on the fence, I mean, it's going to be so worth it because there's so much in one weekend for what you might spend on a couple of coaching sessions,
Well, and the great thing, please note that it's in Canadian dollars.
Exactly.
So, for the U.S., that's like 2 pennies for you.
I know.
Yeah, it's very affordable. And that's one thing that we really, really made sure that we try to do each year is make sure that it is reasonable enough that, students who are just starting out or anybody, especially this year, I mean, it's a tough year for some people. So we try and make it as reasonable as we can while still being able to pay some bills. And to note with that, I mean, really, we do this, and I should mention my partner is Dervla Trainer. There's the two of us that are the owners. We do this as a passion project. This isn't believe me, this is not a money-making venture for us. And so, as long as we can cover off all the expenses, we want to make sure that we can reach as many people as possible.
That's Get Worthy.
Tanya, how's this going to break down? Say I'm a voice actor like Bobby. When Bobby goes in this weekend, she logs in and she opens things up. What happens from there? Will there be different rooms? How does it work?
Yeah, there's 3 different rooms at all times. Everything is recorded in all 3 of those rooms, so you don't have to worry about missing out on one talk because you really wanted to see 2 of them. And they're all different Zoom rooms. So we're trying to make it as live as we can without being live. So it's also driven by the attendees, meaning that it's mostly Q&A at all of these sessions. So we wanted to make sure it wasn't somebody lecturing you for an hour and you're sitting in front of your computer falling asleep. That works in a live session because you have the interaction, but when you're on your computer and you're virtual, it's much more important to be interactive. So all of the sessions will have a lot of Q&A. It'll start out with introductions and then what do you want to know? You've got some amazing experts here, and what are your questions? Because I think that's the most important thing to get to everybody, as many people as we can, I should say, get their questions answered.
Did Tanya forget to mention there are prizes?
What?
Some really cool prizes.
We have a great, now you're going to put me on the spot because
a
I
meet
don't
and
have
greet with
what
Drake.
exactly is.
Oh,
No, I'm joking. Do not expect this.
That's how rumors get started, Kilpatrick.
I don't have the exact model, but we have an interface donated from Steinberg that's worth $750. I'm really excited about that. And thanks to Steinberg, they're one of our gold sponsors. But we have, free demos. J. Michael Collins is offering a demo, which is worth like $2,500. We have some pretty exciting prizes to give away. So those will happen twice a day. And you don't have to, just being there gets you entered to win all these prizes. So fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Tanya, so I'm a voice actor, and what am I going to take away? If I'm on the fence, what is the biggest selling point of VO North? What's the biggest benefit you think for the voice actor?
Well, I think we're in amazing times right now that there's a lot of different resources out there, including your podcast and many other things out there. I think what makes VO North different is the interactivity. We have a lot of one-on-ones where you get 5 to 10 minutes with an expert, just one-on-one. So you can sit across the computer screen with a casting director that you normally wouldn't have access to. So again, it's not somebody lecturing you, it's very interactive. And most importantly, instead of spending the money on one coach, you're going to spend this money on a weekend where you get to get information from many coaches, but also from experts in all parts of your business, whether it be from your, getting SEO and marketing experience from Joe Davis, or lawyers or accountants or performance. So you're really getting a 360-degree takeaway about your business.
And the Friday Night Talent Show, where everybody will be enjoying a glass of something, so it'll be entertaining.
Oh, I'm so excited about, VO North's got talent on Friday, and that is open to anyone. You don't have to have a VO North pass to enjoy that. You can get the information on our website at vonorth.com, but you can either join and we can share in whatever your talent is. We've got a tap dancer, we've got a Wicked Witch impersonator, we've got a singer, a lip syncer, got all sorts of things happening so far, but lots of room left. It's we're going to do it in a sort of open mic style, and just everybody who watches enjoy a drink and we'll all have a good time together.
Any chainsaw jugglers?
Are you offering, Kevin?
Well, not only do I juggle chainsaws, I juggle them while they're on fire. So that's how bad I am.
I am so excited. I'll call Dervla now and tell her to sign you up.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, VO North, I'm sure, you could tell us that there is room if people are on the fence. Is there still availability?
Tell us more.
Yes, there is. That's a really good thing about this year is last year we sold out just due to venue size. And there were so many people who wanted to buy tickets and we were sold out. But this year, virtual, lots of tickets. Happy to have you.
I hope that COVID is gone next year because Toronto is on my bucket list, and I really want to go up there to the next one in person.
We are very hopeful too. We were sad not to see people's faces in person, but we're doing the best we can to make it as fun as we can, regardless.
We're talking with Tanya Buchanan of Tada VoiceWorks, who is also one of the co-owners of VO North. And Tanya, if you're okay, we'd like to shift to talk about representation just a little bit. As voice actors, this is one of the things that consumes us. We have to have the best representation. Tell us about representation, getting representation. How important is representation, Tanya?
If you'd asked that question 5 years ago, you'd probably gotten a much different answer. But I really think, and I know many voice talent who do not have representation that do very well, and they have great businesses. So I certainly don't think it's an end-all and be-all. It's really, an agent is just one cog in the wheel. So it's one more opportunity. It's one more venue. No, that's not the right word, but one more vehicle to get opportunities to audition. And I think it really depends on what you're looking to do as well. If you're really into corporate videos and non-broadcast stuff, there's a lot of work that you don't need an agent for. But if you're going for, the Coca-Cola commercial and, the bigger commercial and animation jobs, then you're probably going to want an agent. So just treat your agent treat your agent nicely.
But send gifts.
Lots of gifts we enjoy. Payola is back. No, I mean, I'm fully supportive of talent who don't have agents. And of course, I like to be an agent and like to be people's agent. So I think you can do it both ways. So it's not an end all and be all, but it just opens you up to more opportunities.
And you accept talent, they don't have to be Canadian, obviously, right?
No, and that's a big change since COVID. One of the things about the Toronto marketplace was that the studios and ad agencies, et cetera, and the buyers really wanted the talent to be in the city, very much like LA. And with COVID, of course, that wasn't possible. So we've been able to expand our roster to those that aren't in the Toronto area. And we really haven't gone back. Everybody's now accepting of remote records, which, of course, on your side of the border has been the norm for a very long time. But here we sort of fought it, kicking and screaming. But now with no choice, I have talent that I represent in the UK and all different parts. So open to, I say that now, and then I'm going to get a flood of emails, so I better be careful.
Boy! That's funny.
So when somebody is submitting, Tanya, we all make mistakes when we're submitting to agents. What are some of the worst things that you have experienced when somebody submits to you? I say this in all seriousness, it brought a tear to my eye last time I was going through demos, et cetera, and submissions, that out of, let's say, 100, 80 of them were so terrible, or they made such horrific mistakes that they didn't even get a listen, or they got maybe 1 second into a listen. And I thought, gosh, with all the resources out there, I don't understand why aspiring talent don't take that part of the business as seriously as they should. You get one shot a lot of the time with agents, and we're not mean, but we're busy, and we don't have time to mess around. And I think the worst things are, how about this? Dear sir. No, that's not going to fly.
No.
Wow. If they don't do any research. I mean, that's one of the key things for me. It's so easy. Just look up my website and say things like, hi, I noticed that you have this and this, or that you're based in Toronto, or something to show me that you've done a little bit of research. And then when it comes to demos, I mean, you really have to, that's more important than ever nowadays, is you really have to have a professional demo. And as soon as I hear, bad, horrible phone quality, and I get them, and people, those of us who've been in the business for a long time, like, people actually do that. And I'm like,
the washing machine running. Yeah.
And then I get people who, send me their best Darth Vader impersonation. And I'm like, oh gosh, I mean, it's amazing. And I'm not kidding. That's actually happened. We get as agents hundreds of submissions. So I always liken it to, if you're going in for a job, in the real world, not in our little voiceover world, you wouldn't show up to a job interview with a crumpled up resume written in pencil. You'd make sure that it was professional looking and that you had done some research about the company. And that applies very much so still in the voiceover world. So just make sure that, you've done a little bit of research, my name, or at least know that I'm a woman and not a man, or to whom it may concern. I'm not a big fan of that either. So just do a little research.
Wow. But here, this would seal the deal. Here we go.
Bobby, I am your father.
Signed, right?
Right there.
What about if people tell you what they've done, as far as, if they're a national voice of something, or if just their credits? Do you want that in the email, or is that just too much?
I think a little bit of it's fine. I don't want pages of all the people, but maybe just some highlights would be great. Generally, and agents all work differently. And so you'll find, just like we all have different personalities, we all have different ways of doing things. But from my end, give me just the highlights. And then if I want to know more, then I'll ask. Or I'll go to your website. It's always nice to have a link to your website on there, so that if I do want to find out more information, it's just I don't have to Google you. I can just quickly find out more about you. So I think that's fine. Just don't make it like forever long.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to ask Tanya, and this is just more personally for me, is what led up to and how was the transition for you from voice actor to agent?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think I had naturally started to mentally make that transition before it even happened, even before I knew it was happening. I was starting to do a lot of coaching. I was doing some casting. I was doing a lot of mentoring, just because I'm just very passionate about the business. And I found so much joy in that. And especially when I saw people get better and better with their reads, or, they were getting jobs. So I really started to see that was just more of my joy than me getting my own jobs. So then when the opportunity came up, and the opportunity meeting, that the reason why I started the agency really was that there was only 2 other non-union voice agents in the city of Toronto size. I thought, somebody's got to open up another agency. Like, this is crazy only having 2. And then when nobody did, I thought, okay, I guess it's me. And I was very honest with my talent and saying in the beginning, look, I've never been an agent before. I've had many agents, and I've been in the business a long time, so I have the connections. Let me help you, and you can help me. And we started off with 10 women and 10 men. And the agency now is 11 years and growing still. So
that's wonderful. Congratulations.
It's fun. It really still brings me joy when I call a talent and say, especially if it's a big gig that they really wanted. And I always, so much is done on email these days, but that's one thing I still call my talent, and they know if Tanya's calling, it's either really good news or really bad news. But I love that. I'm like, you got the job. Like, that's just thrilling to me. So,
and then on the our end, it's like, oh. So, how do you, any thoughts about the business as far as being in the union today as opposed to 5 or 10 years ago? Pay to play. I mean, how do you feel about that personally, if you'd care to share?
Hot topic sizzling.
Well, I only have to preface that by it's much different in Canada regarding the union. So I would probably give you an answer that doesn't. The great thing with SAG and your union is that you have FICOR and the ability to do non-union work if you're union and or have a paymaster converted, etc. We don't have that in Canada. You're either union or non-union. There's no
really?
There's no middle ground there, and you can't as an agent either. Like you're based non-union or a union-based agent. So it's a little bit different here. So I don't think I can really answer that question for you. But in regards to pay-to-plays, I'm not an agent who is really threatened by that. I think, again, it's just another cog in the wheel for you. There's one certain pay-to-play that the name is not to be spoken, that happens to have an office in our side of the world. That I just, that one's a different story. But in terms of, it's just different opportunities and whatever works for you. It's really, the only thing I'd say to those is just know your value as a talent, and just, I think that what happens is people get desperate and or they don't have enough confidence in their skills. And so we have this sort of race for the bottom, and that I'm opposed to. But I think that what you can do is utilize those pay-to-plays in a very good way and utilize them as just one other tool in your toolbox.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan.
Excellent. Tanya Buchanan, thanks so much for your time. And if you want more information about VO North, go to vonorth.com. It's a very affordable voiceover conference that is happening this weekend. Plenty of room since it is online. People can still sign up at this moment. So we're excited for you. And best of luck, Tanya. And thanks for your time and joining us on the Middle Class VO podcast.
Hope to see you online this weekend. Thanks, Tanya.
Will do.
The Middle Class VO podcast is a K2 Media Productions production.
All views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests. The McVob jingle was written and produced by Kevin.
Co-produced and performed by Chloe Dolandis.
Additional engineering by Zach Zimmett.
Bobby's hair and makeup by Rebecca Adlita.
Kevin's wardrobe by Slippery Pete's Fashion Emporium.
All previous episodes are available for download on Podbean.
For the Middle Class VO podcast, I'm Tracy Thibodeau.
I'm Lisa Lou Perry.
Thanks for listening.
And don't miss the next episode of
The Middle Class VO Podcast. The Middle Class VO Podcast.
Bobby, I am your father.